warm welcome. As the director for the Initiative for Climate Leadership and Resilience, I spend a lot of time organizing what we call community-based participatory research projects. So effectively, this means working with off-campus partners on climate and sustainability solutions by bringing tasks into the classroom where we can harness student energy to make things happen. So if you have a sustainability or climate project that you haven't launched because you need some sort of resources, time, expertise, whatever, please come and see me later this morning. I'll be out there by the tables. But today, my main topic is collective regeneration. So, by show of hands, who here is engaged in the food and beverage industry? Okay, so a fair number of people. So, I'm basically here this morning to solicit you to join our program. And here's the concept. Crowdsourcing micro-donations to support regenerative agriculture. So, what does that mean without the jargon? It means providing an opportunity for your customers to put a few cents into a fund that provides grants to farmers who are transitioning to regenerative agriculture. So a couple of key points. One, this program costs your business nothing. Two, customer participation is completely optional. So if you've ever been to a supermarket or a pharmacy and been asked to round up to support a charity, it's similar to that idea. And so why regenerative agriculture? Regenerative agriculture is one of the most important climate solutions because it has a number of unique features. First, agriculture is cheaper and easier to decarbonize than most other sectors like energy or transportation. Second, regenerative practices actually allow agriculture to be carbon negative by sequestering atmospheric carbon in stable, solid form. Third, climate-smart agriculture also makes farms more resilient to extreme weather events and tends to increase productivity per acre. And fourth, it has a number of other co-benefits, like reduced water usage, increased biodiversity, increased soil health and fertility, and better pollinator habitats. So our collective regeneration program was created by our partner nonprofit, Zero Foodprint. Zero Foodprint was named a James Beard Humanitarian of the Year and was called the most innovative company in agriculture by Fast Company magazine. They're also endorsed by Cal EPA, the California Department of Food and Agriculture, and the California Air Resources Board, or CARB. Zero Foodprint has over 200 partners in California, Colorado, and Oregon. But if you look at the map on the slide, there we go, right over here, you'll see there's this conspicuous big gap on the Central Coast. And that's shocking to me because we live in such an intensely agricultural region. We have a lot of foodie culture and a bewildering number of wineries, breweries, and distilleries. We also have a lot of tourism, and tourists are increasingly interested in sustainable destinations. And more generally, our area is progressive on the climate crisis, and people want ways to help. A recent Forbes study determined that 88% of consumers want brands to help them be more sustainable, and that 69% are willing to pay at least 1% more. We wanted to see how well Zero Foodprint would be received on campus, so we surveyed over 1,500 students, and the results were overwhelming. 94% are in favor of adoption. So, implementing this program means providing your customers with something that they want. But does it work? Including a 1% donation on your bar tab may not sound like enough to matter, but people spent over $752 million on food in this county last year. So, at just a 10% participation rate, that means we could provide $752,000 each year to farmers who are working to save the planet. This is especially important in a time when farmers can no longer rely on government grants due to massive turbulence in the federal funding landscape. And there are other benefits too. Zero Foodprint determines which farmers receive grants based on the carbon impact of their proposal. But if that farmer is a supplier for a participating restaurant, then they receive a priority boost during the application process. This supports a local circular economy and helps the restaurants decarbonize their supply chain. But crucially, this program works well because it does not require the restaurant to change their procurement. It does not require tracking regeneratively grown products through the supply chain to the point of sale. It does not require changing consumer spending habits. And it does not require tracking premiums back through the supply chain to then incentivize the farmer to continue. It short-circuits that whole mess using the mass balance principle and sends the money directly to the farmer, which is why we call it table to farm instead of farm to table. So here's an example. Every Subway deli in Boulder, Colorado is a participant. Now, Subway is not a fully sustainable company, and their food is not produced regeneratively. But the decision to participate in Zero Foodprint can be made at the franchise level. So all of those locations are actively helping farmers that are trying to do something good. So I encourage you to scan the QR code here to learn more. We'll connect with you by email. Also, I'll be, like I said, back up there at the tables later this morning so I can answer questions. Thank you very much for your attention.